So, I turned 38 years old today, and in lieu of a midlife crisis, I'm too old to have a quarter life crisis. I guess it's a midlife crisis. I've decided that in addition to the TikTok videos I make that you might have seen, I'm trying to kind of like branch out a little bit more and make more kind of like long formish kind of podcasty stuff. And so that's what I'm trying to do here. I've got like a nice little microphone, so hopefully the sound is a little bit more professional than just what I can get on my janky little Android phone, which is actually where I make like basically all of my videos. I'm recording this on my computer instead of my phone, just using QuickTime. Super primitive, I know, but that's what I'm going to be doing at least for now because I don't want to pay for stuff. And primitive is better for me since I get like distracted with all the bells and whistles and big features that bigger software packages have. But so basically, I'm going to be recording these in QuickTime and then kind of editing them all together using CapCut. So like CapCut, it's the TikTok. It's an app that they have you can download on your phone. But it's also interestingly like a desktop app that you have on like Mac OS, and it's basically like akin to like a more robust video editor on the desktop version. So that's basically how I'm going to be putting these kind of together. And so if they seem rough, well, that's because they are, because I've never done this before. So obviously, you have an awful lot of choices for where you can go or not go to listen to podcasts, right? It's a busy playing field these days. So I'll give you several reasons why I think you should listen to me, a hairy, ambiguously ethnic-looking 38-year-old man, as opposed to all of the other people out there who do podcasts. I think the first reason you should listen to me is a very simple one, which is that I'm not here to sell you anything. I literally have nothing to sell you. I'm just a single individual. I don't have like brand collaborations or deals or any of that nonsense. I'm not a hustle bro. I'm not a lifestyle or fitness coach or whatever. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you like each day. Get up in the morning, go to the grocery store, buy like a giant frozen coconut cake. I think Pepperidge Farm used to make one when I was a kid that was really delicious that my dad liked. Sit on the couch all day and eat it. If that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. Do whatever you like. That's totally fine with me. I'm not going to naysay you or be like, oh, well, actually, you shouldn't do that. Please, you have your own life. You can make absolutely whatever decisions you want. So that's one reason I think you should listen to me as opposed to other people who are probably trying to sell you something and are therefore probably trying to prey on your insecurities in some way, shape, or form to get you to buy whatever it is that they're selling. I think you should listen to me, which is related to the first reason I just mentioned, is that I have to work a day job in order to make a living. I live off the income that I make doing my day job. I work as a quality assurance engineer. Basically, I test business software for a living, and I write computer programs that test and verify business software, which is it pays well, but is about as unglamorous a job as you could probably imagine, although it is kind of interesting in its own way. But yeah, like a lot of people, in the podcast space, especially when they get a little bit bigger, I think they get kind of divorced from the actual economic reality that most of us have to live in, which is that the vast majority of humanity has to wake up each morning and we have to, schlep out of bed and go do a job, most likely working for someone else in some capacity, whether you're a contractor or, or you like just are, working like a salary position like I am. But yeah, I think that gives me kind of a built-in advantage because I see the economic anxieties and fears and worries of other people because, well, like I'm there too. I'm also deeply worried about, like things like layoffs and job cuts and the perennial threat of being replaced by a chat GPT agent or whatever, nonsense BS horse crap that they're trying to sell people on today. I think another reason you should also consider listening to me is because I've failed at a lot of things in my life, if I'm being quite honest. I used to work as a high school English teacher. I had a master's degree in literature that I earned many, many years ago. I don't even use it anymore. And I failed at that as a job. My microphone on it is good. And I got really exhausted and burnt out. And I basically just got burnt out and had to quit. That didn't work out for me. When I transitioned from that into the private sector, I worked in human resources, believe it or not. That was wild going from like teaching to working at like a multi-billion-dollar company. At any rate, I've also worked in human resources, got burnt out and quit that because I got burnt out. I also once upon a time tried going to like one of those coding boot camp things. I paid like the money to go there too, and like my parents helped me pay for it, and I ended up burning out and quitting that after a couple weeks. I also did a PhD proposal at one point because I thought I was gonna go back to school and get a doctorate, a PhD in literature, and become a literature professor. And I got rejected from every program I applied to. So I guess what I'm saying is like I know what it's like to try a lot of different things, to throw a lot of different things in the wall, and to have nothing stick for years and years. I think it's given me a better sense of humility and a better sense of perspective, I think, than some people I see doing podcasts who maybe are too young simply to have ever even really try to do very much in life, outside of the shelter of what their parents can help them do, or people who have, maybe done one thing and sort of like miraculously always been successful. Because I wasn't. Like, honestly, like, I had to move back in with my parents 4 or 5 times in my 20s. Things were just a mess for me. I'm like the textbook definition of a late bloomer. And so, yeah, I guess that's one reason I think you should also consider listening to me, as opposed to more smug people who don't understand that sometimes in life things go wrong and you have to find a way to dust yourself up and find something new to do. Another reason I think you should listen to me, and maybe this is a bit vain, but so be it. I think I just have a nicer sounding voice than a lot of people who do podcasts. I definitely see clips on TikTok from different shows and stuff, whether it's interviews or whatever. And a lot of times the people hosting the show, frankly, don't have very pleasant voices to listen to. They sort of have that like weird social media influencer accent that people seem to get sometimes. Again, like I said, I'm almost 40, so the formative years of my life were spent before the internet kind of became like this cultural force unto itself. And so the kind of patterns of speech in my voice and kind of the cadence and timbre of my voice were not raised and informed by social media, right? So like I don't have that sort of like, obnoxious accent that I think some of them have that we associate them with. So yeah, I think I have a nicer sounding voice. People have told me I have a voice for podcasting before, which I thought was a very nice thing to say. So here I am. I'm actually doing the thing that someone has recommended that I do, just purely on the basis of what my voice sounds like. At any rate, I think those are some of the reasons that you should consider listening to my podcast as opposed to what other people have to say. In terms of the types of things I'm going to talk about on here, it'll probably be similar to my TikTok videos, where I tend to talk about things. I keep worrying that the microphone is turned off. It is turned on. I'm just like self-conscious about it now. The types of things I'm probably going to be talking about are very similar to my TikTok account, as I was just saying. I'm probably going to talk a lot about culture, politics, movies, and especially books. Books are kind of a big part of my life. Like I said, I've got a master's degree in literature, so I tend to think about books and talk about books a lot. Books are a constant reference point for me. So you'll probably hear a lot from me on that. You'll also probably hear a lot of things about politics and economics because, well, everyone's concerned about that now because it's 2025 and the current administration is woo-woo delulu in terms of their thinking, and everyone's, obviously very concerned about what's going to happen next, which, we certainly should be. It's our economy. But yeah, it'll probably be just like things like that because these are like, these will be longer videos, so I'm probably going to be diving into a little bit more depth. Maybe I'll try and do like some cutesy little special effects things or whatever with CapCut. I don't know. I haven't even put the clips into CapCut to edit it yet, so I'm still kind of figuring it all out. But if you've been watching it this long, I appreciate you being here, and like I said, I'm hoping to do more long form kind of content like this in the future. So thanks for your time.